Hello, Craig Smith from the Home Education Foundation in Palmerston North, New Zealand. We're talking about how we as parents can educate our children at home. Now, a question that often comes up in New Zealand, of course, is related to the exemption application. That is, parents, if you want to home educate your children, you have to apply to the Ministry of Education for what they call a certificate of exemption. And the question is, how do I fill in my exemption application? Well, you can always go to the Home Education Foundation website, all sorts of information there. But basically, all they're looking for in this application is a statement from you, a statement of intent. They are not looking for a contract. They are not looking for a series of promises. This is what we will do. They're looking for a statement of intent from you and the statement of intent will include what is it you plan to do when you come to educate your children at home. What do you plan to do? How do you plan to do it? And how will you know you're making progress? Now, the only two legal requirements in New Zealand is that the child will be taught, nothing about learning, the child will be taught at least as regularly and well as in a registered school. So there's some key words here. The child must be taught. So it's your teaching, it's not the child's learning that's under examination here. But it's all totally subjective, because what it says is that the Ministry of Education must be satisfied that the child will be taught at least as regularly and well as in a registered school. Now, note, it says as in a registered school. It does not say as in a state school. So you do not have to teach as regularly and well as in a government state school. That's not it at all. It's just as in a registered school. Now, what that means is that any school that exists out there in New Zealand is a registered school. They're not allowed to exist unless they are registered. So that goes from everything from Auckland Grammar Rangitoto College with terrific academic credentials, right down to some weird and wonderful alternative schools like Discovery One down in Christchurch, or Tamariki, which is another alternative school down in Christchurch Way. Now, these schools are very interesting. Even the attendance is somewhat voluntary. And so if the children turn up, that's a bonus, you know, and the teachers are pleased. Oh, Johnny, so good to see you today. Well, Jim, I thought I'd come along today and just see what's happening. Well, what would you like to do, Johnny? Well, Jim, says the student to the teacher, well, Jim, I'd like to sit on those bean bags over there and watch those videos. And Jim will say to Johnny, well, there's the videos, Johnny, there's the bean bags. Go for your life. I'll see you at lunchtime. And the children can decide whether they learn by watching videos or playing games or any other way. The children decide what they want to do. Totally alternative. So that's the standard. In other words, there is no standard. And so if we can teach as regularly and as well as that, no problem. And all we have to do is demonstrate in the way that we answer these questions on the exemption application. In our statement of intent, we just write a few comments to show this is what I plan to do. You know, what you actually going to end up doing could be who knows what. But this is what you plan to do. This is how you plan to do it. And here's how you know you're going to be making progress. That's what they want to see. Again, you come up with it, and there is no, I want to stress this, folks, in New Zealand, there is no such thing as a golden measuring rod tacked to the wall of the Ministry of Education against which they're going to put your application to see if you measure up. No, there's no such thing. All there is the opinion of the Ministry of Education person who reads your exemption application. And if it strikes them that you know what you're doing, you know what you're about, you will get your exemption. Again, the only criteria is that the ministry must be satisfied that the child will be taught. And according to what you've written, if it looks like you will be teaching this child as regularly and as well as in a registered school, you'll be going, okay. Now, Regular as well does not mean the same as a registered school. It means as regular. What does that word mean? Well, the ministry, in the stuff that they send you, the ministry will have a page with a couple of paragraphs on it, and one is an attempt to define this word regularly, and another one is a paragraph to define the word as well as. Very useful definitions. They are not legal definitions, they're just useful working definitions. And what regular means is, is that you have certain commitments to certain routines. You get up in the morning, you have breakfast, you do your chores, you do certain things, and then you have lunch later on, and then probably later in the day you probably have tea, and then you might have some more chores and then go to bed. There's certain routines, and as long as you can describe what those are, and the ministry person who reads your application likes what you've written, it strikes them that you know what you're about, you will get your exemption. Nothing to worry about. There's only 3 kinds of people I've found never get their exemptions. The first kind is the person in New Zealand who gives up trying. When they get the exemption application, they read through it and throws them for a loop. They go, oh my, this is too hard, I can't do this. So they quit trying. Yeah, well that's fine. You quit trying, you're not going to get your exemption. The other kind of person who never gets the exemption is the person who, in writing out their answers, prove to the ministry that they are themselves incompetent. That's a bit unfortunate. That does happen. You won't get your exemption if you prove that you are incompetent, if you can't spell for beans, if you can't hold a thought for a couple of lines. That's a bit rough. And the third kind of person is the one who, for whatever reason, some terrible skeletons fall out of the closet. You understand that when the ministry gets your application, when the ministry gets your request for an application, the ministry reserves to itself the right to contact the school that your child is currently attending, if your child is attending a school. In other words, they do a little background study, find out about you and your family. Is there any history? Is there any stuff they need to know about? Is a little bit of, Sherlock Holmes stuff going on in the background there by the ministry, just checking you out as a family, checking your child out to see if there's any history there with the social welfare, with the police, that kind of stuff. I don't like it, but that's what they do. And if skeletons fall out of the closet, you probably won't get your exemption. But apart from that, this exemption application is pretty much like a blank check. It really is. It's the ministry giving you every opportunity for you as a parent to tailor-make a curriculum perfectly designed for your child's interests, abilities, and aptitudes and aspirations, and your own family's culture, and you can put together a curriculum tailor-made to them. It's just the best opportunity you'll ever get. You'll never see more freedom and flexibility offered to you by a government department ever than when you get this exemption application to educate your child at home. It's a brilliant opportunity. I would suggest you grab hold with both hands and run for it.